In 1969, Apollo 12 intentionally crashed a lunar module into the surface. The moon didn't just vibrate, it rang like a bell for over an hour. NASA scientists were stunned. This seismic resonance suggests a hollow structure rather than a solid core of rock. It was the first clink in the armor of the official story, the sound of a metallic hull vibrating under a thin layer of dust. The moon is too large and too far away to be a natural satellite of Earth. Statistically, it shouldn't be there. Most moons are tiny compared to their planets, but ours is a twin-planet anomaly. Its orbit is a near-perfect circle, unlike the elliptical paths of natural bodies. It behaves more like a parked station than a captured rock, positioned with mathematical precision. Lunar rock samples contain processed metals like brass, mica, and uranium-236, elements rarely found in nature. More shocking is the presence of titanium, 10 times stronger than on Earth. The surface is a bulletproof shield. This explains why craters, regardless of their width, never exceed a certain shallow depth. The meteors are hitting an indestructible inner hull. The moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, and it is exactly 400 times closer to Earth. This coincidence allows the moon to perfectly cover the sun during an eclipse. The odds of this happening naturally are astronomical. It is a visual alignment that suggests the moon was towed into this specific slot to serve as a cosmic clock or a stabilizing anchor for Earth's tilt. NASA discovered mascons, mass concentrations, beneath the lunar maria. These are high-density regions that exert a massive gravitational pull, tugging on orbiting spacecraft. Skeptics argue these aren't natural mineral deposits, but machinery or ballast located at strategic points within the hollow interior to maintain the moon's artificial gravity and orientation. Ancient Sanskrit texts and oral traditions from various cultures describe a time before the moon. The Chibchas of Colombia and the pre-Hellenic Greeks, Proselenes, claimed their ancestors lived when the night sky was empty. This implies the moon arrived recently in geological time, perhaps placed there by an advanced intelligence to manage the Earth's tides and seasons. According to the age of the solar system, the moon should have miles of cosmic dust on its surface. Yet, the astronauts found only a few inches. This suggests the moon's surface is much younger than its interior, or that it is periodically cleaned. If the moon is a billions of years old ship, its outer skin may be a relatively recent addition to disguise its hull. For centuries, astronomers have reported transient lunar phenomena, strange lights, glows, and mists in the Aristarchus crater. These aren't volcanic, they are operational. They appear like the lights of a city or the exhaust of an engine. The moon isn't a dead rock, it's an active facility emitting energy signatures that the scientific community chooses to ignore. In 1970, Soviet scientists Mikhail Vasin and Alexander Sherbakov published "Is the Moon the Creation of Intelligence?" They proposed the moon is a hollowed-out asteroid, reinforced with a metallic inner lining and filled with fuel, equipment, and living quarters. To them, the moon is a giant Noah's Ark used by an ancient race to travel and eventually monitor the Earth. The moon is tidally locked, meaning it always shows the same face to Earth. We never see the dark side without satellites. While common in the solar system, the moon's lock is suspicious because it perfectly hides whatever infrastructure or hangars might exist on its far side. It is the ultimate no trespassing sign, keeping its business away from Earth's eyes. Impact craters on the moon are all roughly the same depth, Regardless of the size of the asteroid that hit them, a 50-mile wide crater and a 5-mile wide crater both bottom out at about the same level. This suggests the asteroids are hitting an unbreakable inner floor, the metallic hull of a ship, preventing any impact from penetrating deep into the moon's interior. The moon's surface is strangely radioactive, specifically with radon and polonium. This radiation is concentrated in certain hotspots that align with the mascons. Some theorists believe these are leaks from the moon's internal power source, perhaps a cold fusion reactor or a decaying nuclear core that has been keeping the station alive for millions of years. The moon has no global magnetic field, but lunar rocks are highly magnetized. This is a scientific paradox. Rocks only become magnetized in the presence of a strong field. If the moon never had one, where did the magnetism come from? The answer may be industrial magnetization. The rocks were magnetized during the moon's construction or through its artificial engines. Orbiter photos show boulders that have rolled up slopes or across flat plains, leaving tracks behind them. In a vacuum with no wind or seismic activity, rocks don't move themselves. These autonomous boulders suggest that the moon's internal machinery produces vibrations or magnetic shifts that occasionally displace the surface camouflage rocks. Lunar soil is filled with tiny glass beads. On Earth, these are formed by volcanic eruptions or nuclear explosions. While NASA blames meteor impacts, the spherules are distributed with a uniformity that suggests a spray-on coating. This glass may be part of a primitive, holographic, or reflective layer used to manipulate how the moon looks from a distance. In 1953, astronomer John O'Neill spotted a 12-mile-long bridge spanning the Mare Crisium. Other astronomers confirmed it before it vanished months later. This wasn't a natural arch, it looked like a structural span. Its disappearance suggests the moon is reconfigurable, a modular station that can change its surface features to suit its operational needs. The moon's average density is 3.3 g Simpson 3, while Earth's is 5.5 g Simpson 3s. This is significantly lighter than it should be if it were made of the same Earth stuff. A lighter density is a mathematical red flag for a hollow body. If the moon were solid rock, it would be much heavier. Its buoyancy in space is the strongest evidence that the interior is mostly empty space. Reals, long trenches on the moon, often run in perfectly straight lines for hundreds of miles or turn at sharp 90-degree angles. Nature rarely works in right angles. These reals look like the seams of a massive construction project, or perhaps conduits for power lines and transport tubes that connect the various hubs inside the artificial moon. High-resolution photos from Lunar Orbiter 3 show a tower rising 5 miles above the surface. Dubbed the Shard, it casts a long shadow and shows a geometric honeycomb structure. It is an antenna or a docking pylon. Such a structure could not exist on a natural world without an atmosphere to support it, unless it was engineered to be there. Some ancient myths refer to the moon as the eye of the world. In the artificial moon theory, this is literal. The moon is a super satellite, a monitoring station placed by the Watchers. Its purpose is to record human development, stabilize the planet's weather, and perhaps harvest the psychic or biological data of the billions of souls living below. Seismic data shows that S-waves, which move through solids, do not travel through the moon's center. This is interpreted by NASA as a small, partially molten core. But in a hollow sphere model, S-waves wouldn't travel through the center, because there is nothing there but air or vacuum. The missing core is the smoking gun of the hollow moon theory. The rock with the letter C on it from the Apollo 11 mission is often used to prove a hoax, but another theory exists. The rock is a part of the artificial moon's surface that was labeled during its construction. If the moon is a Lego set of a planet, it would make sense for the stones to be marked for assembly, and the astronauts accidentally found a spare part. Apollo instruments detected clouds of water vapor and gas escaping from the moon's interior. NASA called them venting, but the gas was processed and complex. This is the breathing of the machine. As the moon's internal systems cycle, they must vent heat and waste gases into the vacuum, creating mists that astronomers have seen for centuries. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty forbids any nation from owning the moon. Why such a rush to neutralize it? Perhaps the world leaders found out that the moon already belongs to someone else. The treaty is a restraining order to prevent humans from drilling too deep and waking up the landlords of the artificial satellite that watches over us. If the moon is artificial, who is inside? Some believe it is entirely automated, a von Neumann probe designed to self-repair and wait for eternity. There may be no aliens left, just the ghosts of a civilization that died billions of years ago, leaving their great eye on autopilot to watch a planet that hasn't even realized it's being watched. Astronauts reported weird gravity during their walks, spots where they felt lighter or heavier than 1/6 Earth gravity. These local gravity gradients are impossible on a uniform rock. They suggest artificial gravity generators or mass drive engines located just beneath the crust, still humming with the power that once moved the moon across the galaxy. Underneath the grey dust, some photos show a metallic blue sheen to the lunar rocks. This is the color of high-grade irradiated titanium steel. The moon isn't a white pearl, it's a blue steel fortress. The grey dust is chaff or ballast applied to the surface to make it look like a natural asteroid and hide its true reflective metallic nature. In many sci-fi and black project rumors, the moon is a Death Star, a planetary-scale weapon. Its position allows it to fire directed energy at any point on Earth. The cataclysms of the past, the flood, the fall of Atlantis, may have been lunar adjustments using the moon's gravitational or energy systems to reset a human civilization that got too loud. The hollow moon acts as a resonator for specific frequencies. Some suggest the moon is used to broadcast a signal that keeps human consciousness in a limited state, the moon matrix. By vibrating the hollow hull, the controllers can broadcast waves that suppress our intuition and keep us focused on survival, fear, and material gain. Satellite images, often blurred by NASA, show geometric structures, glass domes, and lights on the far side. These are the operational hubs. Because they never face Earth, they don't need to be camouflaged. This is where the ships dock and the maintenance crews live, safe from the prying eyes of Earth's telescopes and amateur astronomers. Some lunar rocks have been dated to 5.3 billion years, older than the Earth and the Sun. If the moon is older than the solar system, it had to be brought here from elsewhere. It is an interstellar visitor, an ancient traveler that found a young Earth and decided to stay, perhaps to guide the development of life on a world that was still cooling. Photos of the lunar poles often show perfectly circular black holes that don't match the surrounding terrain. These are the ventilation shafts or entrances to the interior. They are miles wide and lead straight down into the guts of the machine. NASA's ice discovery at the poles is a cover for the fact that these holes lead to a pressurized environment. Without the moon, Earth's wobble would be chaotic, making life impossible. The moon was installed to stabilize the Earth. We are biological experiments in a controlled environment. The moon is the thermostat and the gyroscope of the Earth system. Its artificial nature is the only reason we have stable seasons and a predictable climate for 10,000 years. Some channelers and SSP insiders say the moon is dying, its engines are failing. This is why we are rushing back to the moon. We aren't going there to explore, we are going there to claim the technology before the station shuts down. The Artemis mission is a salvage operation for the greatest piece of technology in the history of the universe. The truth about the moon would change everything. It would prove we are not alone, that our gods were architects, and that our nightlight is a machine. The moon is the key to the prison of Earth. When we finally admit it is artificial, we will finally be ready to leave the nursery and see the universe for the engineered masterpiece it truly is.